Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our festival concert. This is a fantastic time of the year. As I tell the kids all the time, is that this is the time of season that we have really 3 months to work on quality music. Typically that we go out and perform for adjudications, and we perform for our peers and that type of stuff. We also have the time where we have kids go off to solo and ensemble festival, and you'll get to hear some of that tonight, as well as going off to All-State, as we announced back at the winter concert with Richard Beckman going off to All-State honor band back in Yakima last February. So we've got some really phenomenal pieces going on tonight, and in reality, I can say that I don't think in 7 years teaching here in Shelton, why would I do that? In Shelton, I've ever had this top end of music and being eaten up by the kids. They love it. It's hard music, and they're just biting into it and loving it. So the music that you're going to listen to tonight is top end high school, low end college level music that the kids are just doing fantastic with. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and give you some really good music. Here we go. That was, of course, the piece called In the Sky by Scott Director. Scott Director does work on commission as well as writing for himself and publishing all the time, but he's also the West Coast Conn Selmer rep, so he handles all of the Musser instruments and Ludwig instruments and Conn and Selmer, LeBlanc, all that whole family. So he's really involved in the music industry. Okay, so we've got some more for you. You're going to love this one. When we come back from spring break, we will start our Tuesdays and Thursdays marching band practice, getting ready for our parade season this year. We'll be going back down to Long Beach for the Loyalty Day Parade, as well as going to Bremerton for the Armed Forces Day Parade, and Paulsbo for the Viking Day Parade, which is the same day as the Bremerton one. And then in that time, we've also got a concert, and 2 weeks later, we also got the Forest Festival, so it's all wrapping up really quickly. In the Loyalty Day Parade time, the day that we're down there on the 5th of May, we'll also be feeding the kids lunch, as well as when we go to Bremerton/Paulsbo, feeding them lunch too. So the students and I got together and started doing a fundraising blitz, looking for donations, looking for sponsors for the back of our trailer as well. And I'd like to right now take the opportunity to thank, a very special thank you to Shelton Music for sponsoring our trailer. And so let's give them a big hand, please. Do you think you guys have fun doing that one? I think so too. We're going to take a quick change right now. We're going to get up our award-winning sax quartet right now. In the last weekend of January, the Chinook Music Educators Association, which is incorporating from Hoquiam and Aberdeen, as far north as Lacey and as far south as Tenino, hosts a solo and ensemble festival where the kids have an opportunity to go perform as a soloist with a piano accompanist, as duets. They can do as trios or quartets. Small ensembles all the way up to 16 pieces, but the requirement is everyone is on their own piece. They can't be sharing and doubling the part. So everyone is required to play your own part. As the other thing is the students must teach themselves the piece music, so it's not director involved. So these guys took it upon themselves to learn a piece of music, Johann Sebastian Bach, and performed at the festival, receiving a superior award, which is the best that you can get. So let's give them a big hand. This is our wind ensemble. Our first piece is composed by Samuel Hazo. I've read several of his pieces. They are phenomenal pieces of music. This one here was composed many years ago before he ever published it for his brother, who was a colonel in the Marine Corps as a fighter pilot. And so it's in flight, and you'll see images of flying through the high skies with machine guns going off and yet soaring and going through the clouds. So it's a very, very explicit type piece of music that will take you, hopefully take you some places. It's in your face too, just like a jet fighter would be. So I think that you will enjoy it. I do want to point out that we've got such talented kids in here that when the music calls for contralto clarinet, which is a really big clarinet. Can you, somebody hold that up for us? That's a clarinet right there. When somebody needs to have that part being played, all of a sudden our tenor sax says, well, I can do that. So he starts playing the contralto, which is fantastic. I mean, so we got kids doubling on instruments. I've got several kids playing 2 instruments. One of them, I think, playing 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, more than that. Okay, so several instruments. The kids are very, very talented this year, and it's been a blast working with them because they're hard workers and they're very, very talented. This next piece, written by Brian Balmages, is the Arabian Dances. It has Arabic song that is well known in their culture, that has to do, well, really stands up for women's rights, and but nowadays is used for all rights of all. And you'll find the melody that you'll hear coming throughout the piece. It goes throughout and it goes through different changes, but it's always there. And that's kind of an important thing, you know? All right. We're going to close the concert with a James Swearingen piece called Exaltation, which is more of a celebration and enlightenment. And I think that's really where we are at. And you can see that with our music that we've got going on right now. There's a lot to celebrate. So have a good night. I hope to see you in May 23rd, our next concert, where we're going to have some very fun music, lighthearted stuff going on. Really looking forward to it. Okay, thanks for coming out tonight.